All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Monday, May 10th, 2021, and just want to go over the recent headlines and talk about the latest details, also with the supposed cyber attack on the Colonial Pipeline. But we'll get to that updated headline. They're saying it's a ransomware attack, and the last I saw, CNN said the company's not reporting on if they're paying the ransom or not. But supposedly a ransomware attack out of Russia. We'll put all this together. But just notice the attack was May 7th, the 127th day of the year. Ransomware, 127. Again, news by the numbers day after day. You might have heard the headline that broke yesterday in Australia, but all the mainstream's covering it today, Monday, May 10th, that Australia found some sort of assumed evidence that China weaponized the COVID virus or the coronavirus. But this evidence they supposedly found that created these headlines, May 9th, the 129th day of the year. Of course, weaponized is 129. And if you're new here, it's funny how many people will come here and be like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and leave a comment like that. It's like, okay, if you're that person, just in case you got here and you feel like this is so dumb, realize this is how your news is contrived every single day, and we've been proving that for almost 8 years straight now. Every single day. And the reason we prove it is to try to wake up all the sleeping dummies who keep watching the news and thinking this is real information that they need to allow have an emotional impact and, fall behind all the other storylines and agendas that go with these stories. Again, the point of putting this out is to wake up all the dummies. Again, some people are like, again, it's just like, I've noticed since I was 18 years old, since September 11, 2001, that people are somehow in some kind of coma, magical trance, can't see the obvious, continue to watch the TV and believe what they see on there, even though it makes no sense. Like 9/11, that was a story that made no sense. 2 buildings come down in a perfect demolition. A third building falls 8 hours later right next to it in a perfect demolition. It's blamed on a man in a cave. The day before, Donald Rumsfeld said we lost $2 trillion at the Pentagon. The next day, everyone forgot because September 11th happened. Again, you just start to look at all this stuff. You're like, there's no way all this is a coincidence. But the brain-dead dummies would say it is all a coincidence and wouldn't ask a single question. Again, the point of putting this work out there is to maybe see if these walking zombies can realize that this stuff really is bullshit every day that programs their minds, that they allow it. These same zombies allow this to program their minds every day, but can they see that it's all bullshit when you show every single day how it's just all made-up information by a very simple code of letters and numbers? Again, it goes back to Babylon. Important to Kabbalah when it's the cabal that runs the show. How about this one on May 9th? May 9th, majority of the world writes the date 9/5. Everest equals 95, Summit 95. It was announced China to create line of separation at Everest Summit over COVID fears. I mean, come on, man. I'm sure the sick and unhealthy are doing the hike up to the summit of Everest. Something that they say is a great accomplishment. But anyway, now there's a COVID zone up there, or a line of separation. But notice what day the news comes out. May 9th, 9/5 like 95. Again, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Everest is 95. When you run the alphabetic order forward, Summit's 95. Improbable that they'd both be that. And then the news would come on that day. Unless it's what we're saying. Every single day, they're just contriving news by the numbers, by this ritualistic code, which is exactly what's going on. And if you missed my coverage on May 8th of the explosion in Kabul next to the girls' school, I said the big thing about this is that it happened on May 8th, written 8/5 like 85, because the word Templar equals 85, and we invaded Afghanistan October 7th, 2001, the day leaving 85 days left in the year. I cover all that in my book, by the way, the significance of 85 and the Templars and the invasion of Afghanistan. But on May 8th, 8/5, now this updated headline, they're now saying 85 is the death toll. Again, it's just news by the numbers all day, every day. The word Templar with the most simple cipher is 85. Just A is 1 up to Z is 26. And with regards to the birthday shooting in Colorado, Remember, the last big shooting in the news was March 22nd in Colorado at the King Soopers. From that Colorado shooting to the latest, the birthday shooting on May 9th, 48 days later, plus it was the 129th day of the year. And notice, birthdays 129, also 48. If you're new here, Gematria is very simple. It's based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with the rules of numerology. So in this case, birthday equals 129 when you just run the alphabetic order in reverse, and it equals 48 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse with the rules of numerology. So again, on the 129th day of the year, 48 days after the last major Colorado shooting, you get this. And we talked a little bit about the number 48 on the March 22nd shooting because that date can be written 22/3, like 223, the 48th prime. And you can see the words that are up here on the screen that equal 48. Most of them are no longer tolerated by YouTube's algorithms. You can get your channel deleted entirely without even getting a single strike. But and there's nothing wrong with any of these words. It's just YouTube hates the truth. That's because YouTube is controlled by Google, which is controlled by the government, and these are all government operations that we're exposing because that's what government is. Tyranny, propaganda, fear to control. I mean, that's what government is, and people don't see it. They're under this illusion. No, government's good. They let me go to school there, and I learned some important things, and now I pay a bunch in taxes every year, and the TV's on every day. It's like, okay, so that's how government's good? Yeah. Okay. All right, zombie. Anyway. Also, yesterday on May 9th, 5/9, you know, the word slave is 59, right? We're always talking about that. Slave, Negro, Blues, Rasta, they're all 59. They had this story up. This from yesterday's headline on May 9th. Before black people thrived in Tulsa, Native Americans enslaved them. It's like, wait a minute, I haven't heard this story before, but I see why they're bringing out, and again, just if it's in the news, it's probably definitely not true. I think that's a good rule of thumb. If it's in the news, it's probably definitely not true. And a bunch of idiots will come through here and be like, oh, you must be one of those Trump fake news guys. No, moron, you'd be dead wrong. Before Trump came along, before he ran for office, I was showing how the news is scripted crap every day, and Donald Trump's been a big part of it the whole time. But, again, all day, every day. News by the numbers. And Fauci was big news yesterday saying the time for masks indoors may be coming to an end. Yeah, let's hope so. But 9/5, again, that's a big Fauci number, 95. And another big CNN headline today, U.S. pipeline shutdown sparks worries of $3. This is today's headline, May 10th, 2021. The entire West Coast is going, what? It's been $3. But, I when I went back to Louisiana last year, I was like, wow. Gas is like half the price here in Louisiana that it is in Washington State. So this is probably like for a place like Louisiana, maybe they're heading to $3. But again, this whole thing is just all of this stuff, you guys, that we're living out is planned ritual to push us on the path they want us on. And realize, as they keep us on the path they want us on, it's because they want to maintain control and maximize profit. And that's what this is all about. As they shift us from one agenda to the next, they make sure that they capitalize every inch of the way. But today's date with the 56 numerology, we're always talking about 3 and 56. When you're out 3 is a word, it equals 56. Fuel shortage, which they're saying could be coming for a number of reasons. They're saying this summer there's not enough drivers to drive all the fuel trucks that'll be needed to keep up with the summer load for gasoline. All this stuff is just straight up bullshit. But again, it's all ritual by the numbers. And shortly after this, I have it somewhere in my screenshots, but shortly after this, CNN put up another story in the middle spot. They replaced the one that's there in this shot, but with how 80% of Americans have access to all 3 COVID vaccines. And of course, COVID vaccines, 56 like 3. But, yeah, just news by the numbers. Also in the headlines yesterday, May 9th. Well, I think if you read the story, the twin brother of the NFL football player Tarik Cohen was found dead, supposedly electrocuted, trying to climb a power station while running from police, or some story like this. But they're saying this happened Sunday, May 9th. TMZ put out the news today. I know a lot of places put out today, but I do think the story broke last night, May 9th, after the brother died. But again, another black entertainer and another death-related ritual with 59. Again, if you haven't read my first book, Letters and Numbers, not this book, this is my second book. My first book you can only get in ebook form, but then you can have it printed at lulu.com. Again, all my books in ebook form are at my website, GematriaEffectNews. But the 18th chapter of my first book about just how this same number shows up throughout history with regards to suspicious deaths in black entertainment, black history. Of course, Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. But slave, Negro, blues, Rasta, they're all 59. We were just talking about this with Obama. 277 days after Obama's 59th birthday. 277 is the 59th prime. His dog, Bo, died. 59 is the 17th prime, and Bo equals 17. And you know what? Right here in the first chapter of my second book, I talk about the relationship with 277, 59, and 17. Not in regards to the death of Obama's dog, because that hadn't happened yet, but with regards to Independence Day. If you write out Independence Day, it's 277, which is the 59th prime. And from 1776 back to 1717 is 59 years. And again, 59 is the 17th prime. And Mason equals 17, and Freemasonry equals 59. Freemasonry was born in 1717. 59 years later, this nation was born. Independence Day, of course, can be written 7-4 like Masonic 74. But again, the entire language encoded. And remember, it's the Catholic Church, the Jesuits behind all of this. The Jesuits created modern Freemasonry in 1717 after they'd been nearly existing for almost 200 years. So, Tarik Cohen loses his brother, and brother was 25. Of course, death is 25. There's probably a lot more to this. I know the NFL season this year starts on 9/9, so it's 4 months to the start of the NFL season. You have to pay attention to what's going on with the Bears. But he was the 119th pick of the draft. So he got the July 26th birthday, if I'm not mistaken. That's New York's birthday. George Clinton's birthday, the first governor of New York as well. Okay, so again, just another strange death connected to the world of entertainment and celebrity. And once again, a black man in 5'9". Last year, rewind, last year it was a lot worse. Remember last year, a year earlier, you had the deaths of 3 black celebrities. Little Richard, Betty Wright, and the former CEO of Motown, who died at age 59. And again, Motown was established in 1959. But all those deaths were big 59 rituals last year, and we were talking about them all. Betty Wright might have actually died the day after May 9th. She might have died May 10th, but I remember her name, Betty Wright's 59. Go back and check that. But that weekend, a lot of black entertainer deaths in the news a year ago. And there might be some other headlines I'm missing. I'm not sure all what did go on yet Sunday. I got to go back and catch up. But this is one of the major headlines. Stacy Abrams was in the news on May 9th. If you don't know Stacy Abrams, black woman politician. She was in the news on May 9th for supposedly 3 of her romance novels being re-released. And supposedly 20 years ago, she wrote 3 romance novels under the pen name Selena Montgomery, which of course is 201 like the Jesuit order. And we've been tracking what a perfect puppet she is for several years now. Again, just another part of the regular news cycles, one of these puppets. And her pen name has all kinds of interesting gematria. But I noticed romance novel is here in the base ciphers, it's 56 and 187, just like Society of Jesus. I never noticed this before, but it made sense why they wrote about 3, because you see the 56, 187, when you write out 3, it's got the 56, again, Abrahamic, 56, 187, the three Abrahamic religions based in the 187 chapters of the Torah. But, yeah, it just makes me go, okay, is she even really the author of these books? Like, what is this about, really? So, the three books are Rules of Engagement, The Art of Desire, and Power of Persuasion. I'm sure there's a lot more to this, but I did a pretty lazy decode here. I didn't even measure from her birthday, but I was like, okay. Black woman politician, growing in popularity. I think once I saw just the pen name, I was done. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Of course, it's 201. And, she was a face you saw a lot during the time of Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. Again, 201 is the number of the Jesuits. George Perry Floyd, 201. Major 201 ritual. Black Lives Matter is a Jesuit-controlled operation. And no doubt Stacy Abrams is a Jesuit-controlled puppet, as are all people in U.S. government. And with regards to 56, Robert Downey Jr. mourns the death of his longtime assistant, Jimmy Rich. Now, if you read the story, his assistant died Thursday, May 6th, 5-6, while Robert Downey Jr. is 56. And if you watch the videos I did on May 6th, the big theme with that day was the numbers 56 and 52 with a few 239s, because 239 is the 52nd prime number, right? 239 is the 52nd prime. This happened May 6th, the day leaving 239 days left in the year. Notice Robert John Downey Jr., his full name is 239, and the man who died was 52. And go back and watch the live stream from May 6th. Everything was 56, 52 all day. Again, it's just... I know I say it like in every video, but I just don't understand what's wrong with the rest of the truth community. It's just putting out this work for so long and being so consistent and accurate and helping so many people with it, and it's like, where the hell are the big voices of the world? All these people that, if they put out a new YouTube video, get like 1 million views, even though they'd give you absolutely nothing. But, like, where are the people that have platforms and voices? It's just like, how can nobody be talking about this that actually has a big audience? And for anybody out there who says, well, earn your own big audience, well, that's pretty tough in the age of censorship. I don't know anybody else in the truth community who's had their channel deleted 21 times, not to mention been deleted off other platforms, Facebook. I mean, just so much censorship. It's hard to have much of a channel when you keep getting deleted. I mean, we've approached 100K subscribers 3 times now and had the channel deleted each time. And there's been plenty of other channels that have gotten to 20-some thousand and then deleted. I mean, just when your channel grows and they delete and you have to keep starting over and over, it's like, how do you reach anyone? How does anyone stay? I mean, you see what it's like. The majority of the people who follow you get lost, but then still nobody steps up and helps out. But people keep paying attention to these other platforms that, continue to put out false information, false fear, don't seem to really get anything right. And meanwhile, we just keep being dead on about just about everything. So, but yeah, I mean, I know even though that, the work's been great and helped out a lot of people, it's just not enough, man. I mean, we're trying to make a difference in the world, a noticeable difference, powerful knowledge that should be able to wake up all the sleeping zombies, but they just don't want to wake up. And just like I predicted in 2013, they'll probably drag us all down to the bottom with them, which was actually my prediction after 9/11. Probably by the next day, I said, man, what kind of country do I live in? Government clearly blows up its own buildings, start wars based on lies. Nobody questions anything. Everybody just marches along and says you're an asshole if you question it. What kind of fucking society do I live in? See, that's what I hate, you guys. That's actually what really bothers me, is I just wish I could rewind to September 12th, 2001. I had the right idea. Leave the country, get away from these fucking people, go start some kind of different life. I do realize it's a new world order, but still, man, America, it's just, pretty sure it's the worst. So, yeah. But again, just day after day, I mean, I don't know why in the last week I've been thinking about it more. I've been like, man, I've been doing this for so long every single day, and it just cannot get. I guess part of what it is I see that in the last 2 months there's less people supporting the work than there were 2 months ago when I started the street campaign, pounding the pavement. So it's like right now I'm like doing more than I've ever done before, and I'm tireder than I've ever been. But I see that like less people are supporting, and I don't know. It seems like videos are getting less views than ever. It's just like, I don't know. Something just doesn't make sense here. The more work I put in, the worse the results. It just doesn't make sense, but it is the way it is. And I realize the censorship's an all-time high too, because all the links to click on don't work. YouTube keeps, even if I delete it and re-swap it out, it doesn't work by the next day. YouTube has some new level of censorship so that even the links in your descriptions don't work, but it doesn't make anybody big with a platform want to help us out and get out the word. So, yeah. Anyway, and again, the other part of me is like, really, the only thing to do at this point seems to be like, there needs to be a piece of land that can be got, and people who want to come there and make community and have a community and grow their own food. I feel like that's the only thing to do at this point. So, I don't know how many people would want to do that, but to me, it just seems like that's the only logical thing to do. The problems that are coming will be hazardous to your health if you don't have your own supply of food and you don't have a community of people that you can feel safe around. I mean, those are the things you're going to need whenever the New World Order pushes this agenda to where it's going. But again, even though people have been generous and pledged $1 a month, or some people $5 a month, or some people even more than that, not many, but and again, keep saving, but just nowhere near enough resources to do it alone at this point. We need like other people with big platforms who see what's wrong in the world to like come together and pull resources and make it happen. But I just don't see any collaboration or cooperation, or I just see a bunch of people still in their own little gimmicks, selling their own little products. And yeah, it is. It's disheartening, man, because again, we've been dead on about everything the whole time. Why 2020 would probably be the time. It was. And the knowledge to know, to see through the agenda, to call out who's responsible, to know what to stand against and not be fooled by. I mean, it's all here. But again, most people are dopes. And even just people who follow just the dumb comments they leave all the time. I like Zach's work, but he thinks Gematria is like more important than it is. It's like, the fuck's wrong with you? What's more important in the truth community? Again, nobody follows up these sentences. They'll just write out these dumb remarks like, wait a minute, what in the truth communities help people make money off the stock market, crypto, sports gambling? And none of that should even be what's qualified by, but just seriously, what in the truth community has helped people make money off those things? The answer would be nothing outside of Gematria, pretty much. Insider information if you have it, but again, nobody's putting out any of that. So the answer is nothing else. So nothing else in the truth communities help people make money, and you live in a world where you need money to pay your bills, so that is important. But that's not even what makes this work necessary. What makes this work necessary is what else in the truth community is allowing us to accurately forecast what's going to happen in the future continuously as we do, show who's responsible, how they're operating, and why. Again, the answer is pretty much everything else in the truth community. The answer for almost everyone else is they don't have anything to... they just got speculation and opinions and graphics and video editing skills, I guess, but nothing, By the way, again, it's 2021. It's the year of Agenda 21, which has everything to do with climate. And as predicted, we'd see all sorts of new records this year with Mother Nature and disasters and climate change, and they're saying, this storm season's definitely going to start earlier than any before. By the way, I noticed the word Mother and Nature shared Gematria, which I thought was interesting. Mother Nature, most simple cipher. I probably had that written down in my notebook years ago, but I'd forgotten that one. Just noticed I said, Mother and Nature got the same Gematria in the most simple cipher. But yeah, the first tropical storm of the 2021 Eastern Pacific hurricane season formed off the southwest coast of Mexico on Sunday. So on a Sunday, Big Catholic Jesuit Day, the force of the New World Order. And hold on. Well, okay, I'll cover that, and then I got to come back to what I forgot to cover. But yeah, the official season for Eastern Pacific begins May 15th. We just talked about the other day how they're thinking about, it was on May 6th. They wrote the article about how this year they might need to move up the date. But here, let's go back to this. The Colonial Pipeline cyber attack, now listed as a ransomware attack. And again, ransomware is 127. The attack was supposedly Friday, May 7th, the 127th day of the year. And they're blaming it on Russia. And May 7th can be written 7-5 like 75. Remember, Russia's 75 like New World Order, like Catholic Church. Remember the New York Times. October 6, 1940, a date with 75 numerology. The headline was New World Order Pledged to Jews. And covered this. September 15, 2018 was the day I put up that post. But as I covered then, who else would pledge besides the Catholic Church, who's behind, the world wars in Israel? And again, it reminds that Catherine the Great, the leader of Russia who saved the Jesuit order, I've always said from the beginning that it's very clear that Russia and the United States are the New World Order. They're clearly controlled opposition. They're not real threats to each other. They're just there to essentially control their people, to create these threats that control the people. They've mirrored each other in history, the world wars, the space race, the Cold War. But, yeah, Russia is the boogeyman that's blamed. This hacking group is supposedly called the Dark Side out of Russia that hacked the Colonial Pipeline. And think about the 13 colonies and how this started in Alabama, which we refer to as 13 land. Knowledge that's helped us win a million times with college football in Alabama. Hold on. But Dark Side has the same gematria as Catholic in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. And again, it just couldn't be any more obvious what's really going on. The Colonial Pipeline attack that runs up the eastern seaboard, the land of the 13 colonies. And yeah, with regards to the 13, if you missed the video from the other day, again, they coded the 265 all over this ritual, which is a bit like 26/5, May 26th, the upcoming lunar eclipse day, and of course the moon has the 13-month cycle. You think of the 13 colonies, Alabama 13. It was also the cyber attack May 7th, 19 days before May 26th, the day of the total lunar eclipse. And of course, the moon's on a 19-year cycle, 13 months, 19 years. But again, everything in the news, by the numbers, every single day. And I don't know, man. It's just can't get anyone in the world that has a platform to share this 8 years strong of accurately using this knowledge to forecast what will happen in the future. Better than I've seen anyone do in my life. And again, my whole life, people have said Nostradamus is so interesting, but then when you look at Nostradamus, it's like, wait a minute. To me, nothing really is that interesting with Nostradamus. Really vague stuff. It's just like, okay, this just seems like some mainstream crap that's not really that important. Meanwhile, what we do over here is not mainstream, and it's not crap, and it is actually really important. But somehow, some way, so few people seem to understand that. And it's possible that it's just that all the world is swine, for the most part. Don't cast your pearls before swine. And again, looking at the world, for pretty much all of my life, that's pretty much all I've seen is swine, and more swine, with a few exceptions here and there. But oh yeah, by the way, with regards to Australia doing the weaponized, saying that they found some information that China had weaponized COVID. Remember, Australia's got the 102 connection, like Art of War, like World War. And again, coronavirus, the pandemic declared in 2020, 102 years after Spanish flu in 1918, and that supposedly came out of World War I. And all throughout history, 102 has been a big war number. So, yeah. Again, news by the numbers every single day. And let me see. Yeah, there's a few more headlines I got to cover. So, Elon Musk, of course, he did Saturday Night Live this weekend. And I was reminded that this past winter, at the end of the year, it went viral that there was a book written by Werner von Braun of the Nazis, a Nazi scientist, called The Mars Project, where the top title for the people who work on Mars, they're called Elons. Elon, spelled the same way Elon Musk spells his name. But that was a viral news story at the end of 2020. And notice the day that became viral. I covered it then, but what happened just days after this was Elon Musk was declared the richest man in the world. But again, I just want to go back and put all this together in hindsight. December 29th is the day this went viral on Twitter, 1229. And remember, 1229 is the 201st prime. And in this case, in Jewish gematria, Mars is 201, the god of war. And again, the Jesuit order, 201, who consider themselves a military order. But with regards to the Mars mission and parallels to the moon mission, don't forget that the moon landing was July 20th, the 201st day of the year, that Neil Alden Armstrong equals 201. But again, this news went viral on social media on 12/29, which shows it wasn't an accident. Whoever put this out there is part of the thing. You know, the same people that give us our mainstream headlines every day by the numbers. We know that Elon Musk is a Jesuit pawn, a Jesuit puppet. By the way, with regards to the parallels to the moon landing, the Mars Project, the name of the book, and the author, Werner von Braun, are both 207. Like the moon landing was July 20th, 20/7. And don't forget, Moon, Mars, and Rome are all 51 and 57. But the big thing about Musk that made it undeniable he was a Jesuit puppet was that he was declared the richest man in the world on January 7th, which was the 78-year anniversary of the death of Nikola Tesla. And he died January 7th, 43. And Tesla and Jesuit are 78. And again, just undeniable ritual. But this was just days before. And again, I mean, it should be obvious to everybody that this guy's nothing but an actor and a fraud and a puppet. How long ago was it? A year, year and a half, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I've lost track of time, where he went and debuted supposedly like his indestructible car, and then he's got it up on the stage, and then he throws something at it and the window breaks right away. And that's supposed to be impossible with this car that he's... I mean, you're telling me this is one of the smartest guys in the world, and he's going to unveil his unbreakable car, and then he's going to humiliate himself on stage? I mean, no way. No way. They would have rehearsed that and had it so perfect and made sure they did have the right car. There's just no way. All of this stuff is ritual. And again, it's because the controllers... See, that's what's so frustrating about this world. And that's what'll drive a person like myself to, for 8 years straight, pump out undeniable knowledge just to see how dumb and asleep everyone is. And that's what I have thoroughly proven, is how dumb and asleep everybody is. The fact that this isn't one of the most popular viral things on the internet in the information age shows you how stupid humanity is. Truly. Just truly stupid. And also how powerful the censorship is of big tech, and how they can control and navigate people by making certain things pop up and not others. But again, just everything they do to us is to... It's like literally everything they're doing is to prove that we're still in a coma. 9/11 was to make sure that we were in a coma as a population, that we could not see an obvious lie, even if it was right in front of our face and shown a million times over. That was what 9/11 really was. The most obvious lie ever, until COVID. And then again, it's just the same thing. People are too dumb to see what's so obvious. And part of it is because they have things in their brain like, our government wouldn't do that to us. And your reason behind that is? They don't have a reason behind that. They wouldn't do that. Okay, that's the limits of your thinking. You don't have the ability to think. You're just like programmed, and you have certain thoughts in there that float around, but there's no thought behind any of it. Okay, so again, number games all day, every day. And then for everybody waiting for me to do the Preakness, I will do the Preakness. But I'm waiting to see how long they drag out this Medina Spirit story about it having... What was the word? Hold on. Where's it at? Did I skip over it? This news broke yesterday, 9/5. Oh, yeah, they detected 21 picograms per milliliter of beta methazone. I'm sure Sweet Lady knows how to say that better, but some pain medication. But 21 and 21. By the way, the name of the medication is 70, like Kentucky Derby, like Churchill Downs, the track that it's at, like horse. But this came the weekend before the big race in Baltimore. Baltimore, horse racing town. In Baltimore, in the most simple cipher, is 95. And this horse is the favorite to win the race in Baltimore. So I'm going to wait and see, unless it gets, well, if it's Thursday and they still haven't made an announcement, I'll just do a stream Thursday on it. But we'll do a couple. We'll do a couple on the Preakness. There's only half as many horses. But we did well on the Derby. Medina looked the most like the horse prior to the race once all the facts were added up. And again, it did win. Even if they take it away, it's still a winning ticket. It's still paid. But again, we'll see if this just all blows over. I'm having trouble imagining that they're going to pull it away from Bob Baffert because he won his 7th Kentucky Derby. It's been 7s all over in sports. That was one of the main reasons we like this horse. It's been a year of 7s. And again, it was in the 8th post. 19 horses, 19 the 8th prime. 19 days after Ramadan began. Medina, where Prophet Muhammad's buried. Bob Baffert won in 2002 at the Derby. 19 years earlier, the 19-year cycles of the moon. Moon 51, the race on 5-1. And the jockey was the only jockey who came into that day with 201 races under his belt for the season, and Run for the Roses, the nickname is 201. But yeah, anyway, I think that's all for now. I do plan on getting out to the corner here, so I think that's where I'm going to go to next. And yeah, I don't know, True Seeker. I got to be honest. Just lately in my head, I'm just like, man, it's getting so far in the game, and people are still not waking up. And look how pathetic these cattle are, rushing out, just doing what they're told. I mean, I'm not surprised by anything, but it's just like, I really did think when I started this, once I found this work and how important it was, I thought it would reach millions of people in no time, and it probably has reached millions of people. But are there millions of people that care about it? I don't think so. I mean, again, here's a really great book on the subject that could really end this whole pandemic and wake people up to what's really going on, but it's sold a whopping, like 5,000 and some copies, which isn't much. I mean, it takes a lot to write a book, and yeah, it's just... Again, it's also why I started dragging my feet on my 3rd book, because I'm like, okay, I've already written 2 good books, and I don't know, True Seeker. I'm like, a part of me doesn't want to do this research anymore. I just got to be honest. I'm going to keep doing it, but it's just every day I'm thinking more like, I need to be growing food and taking care of the future that's coming, because it's already here. I mean, I started doing this in 2013 with the warning of 2020. 2020 was everything I said it would be, and the agenda is everything I said it would be. I mean, it's obvious. If you can't see what you live in a big monster that lies to you every day, that scares you every day, that takes away more rights and liberties, tries to control your life more and more surveillance over your life. I mean, these are all the things I understood after 9/11. And it's like, why would that change? That's obvious what they're trying to do. It's obvious what the push is. So, yeah, I just feel like now I've for almost 10 years put out the warning about what just not enough people care. And now it's like, okay, now it's past that time, and now it's like, I need to just be taking care of my own life. I mean, there's going to be serious consequences coming from these agendas. There's going to be serious consequences. The brain-dead sheep, they're not going to know what hit them. They're going to have lived in ignorance for their whole lives, and maybe ignorance was bliss because then they just got wiped out in a second without even really having to think about it. But bad things are coming, you guys. Still could be 4 years away, decade away, 19 years away at the most, but again, it's just I don't think our fellow man's going to wake up. I don't think they want to. I don't think they're capable of it. You know. So yeah, but I'll go out and try out one more day on the corner. Well, I shouldn't say one more day. I'll be out there more, but I'm just going to go keep putting in the energy until I don't have any more energy. Maybe I eventually will wear out. So yeah, I'm just frustrated, you guys. It's just I'm frustrated, man. There's not enough care in the world to make the difference that needs to happen, and we're obviously not going to get any support from anyone else that could help us out. There's not going to be any Joe Rogans of the world. Not that we ever thought that he was part of the truth community, but again, that's what it would take. That's what it would take, but these people are not coming. Jordan Maxwell's not even coming. And see, to me, it's disappointing that like a Jordan Maxwell won't reach back out, because Jordan Maxwell has always said that the masses will not wake up because they only care about entertainment, and this stuff about the occult and the Jesuits running the world, it doesn't sync up with the world of entertainment, which is dead wrong. They control that world of entertainment. I don't know why he doesn't focus more on that, or maybe that's why he doesn't focus more on that. Maybe at the end of the day, Jordan Maxwell and these types are part of it too, which would be sad. But yeah, because I can't imagine that Jordan Maxwell would look at my work and not understand its relevance. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I am going to head down to the corner, and I will be on twitch.tv. And somebody says, do both. Life is a balancing act. Yeah, that's not the way I really work, though. I like do something and I do it. And like I'm saying, I mean, I've already done this for so long. I mean, we've called damn near every sports championship, major news story, weather warfare. I mean, what's it take to get people in the information age to check in? Somebody will send me a video and say, I got to see this. It's like a minute long, and people think it's funny, and it has 18 million views already, and I'm watching, I'm just like, okay, that's what everyone's into? Okay, I didn't even think that was that great. It's like a society of infants. Well, the new generation doesn't give me much hope or inspiration at all. I know there's some outliers out there, but again, I just look at the younger generations, and I think, God, things have never looked worse. Like when I was a child, there was one fat kid growing up in elementary school. Now almost everyone's fat. By the time they're like 10, it's like, oh my God. Not looking good in America. So well, yeah, I'm just seeing some of the comments in the chat. I don't know if Jordan Maxwell would be a Jesuit puppet, because he always blamed everything on the Jesuits, but I don't know. Yeah, again, because what I want to do, you guys, is if I was out doing what I needed to do, I probably wouldn't have time to be on the computer and doing research. I want to like have a big field and food and a root cellar and a way to store food. I mean, I feel like that's the thing to be doing right now. Having your own food, preparing your food, and yeah, I just feel like that's going to be the stuff that's the knowledge. I guess I could come back and make it once I have my field and my root cellar going. I can show other people how to do it. I'm thinking about just doing that though. I've been telling Sweet Lady we should sell this house right now, find a house with some property, and start growing some food, because that could be absolutely what saves our lives in the not too distant future. or makes life a lot less infuriating. If you're having to wait for, grocery stores to restock or governments to give you some handouts, you're going to wish that you had joined a community where you had your own local agriculture. And, yeah, even if it doesn't come to that, you'd still wish imagine if you had your own local agriculture. You know where your food grew. You know what chemicals were actually on it. And you don't have to stress about what they're planning to do. They can shut down whatever supply chain they want when they want to. So, Ms. Mildred, see, you want a person like Miss Mildred on your property. She is an expert with the preserving of the food. But yeah, don't worry, you guys. I'm probably not gonna quit anytime soon. But yeah, honestly, just in the last week, I really just started feeling this way a lot. I'm like, okay, I've just done this for too long, and it just has not had the impact. And it's like, what am I gonna do? Just keep grinding this wheel until the day we're all up shit's creek without a paddle? Because obviously we're trying to make something happen in this community, but nothing's happening. Just getting smaller and smaller with time. Less people following, less people supporting. So it's like, okay, is this a sign that we got to reverse direction? We got to change direction. Something's got to switch. All right. Anyway, we'll leave it there. I don't mean to be Debbie Downer, but yeah, I am going to head out to the corner soon. And again, that'll be on twitch.tv, GematriaEffectNews. So we'll leave it there for today. And until